Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. I am Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. I hope you all are doing well. Today is Saturday, a special noon Saturday edition of the Immigration Answers Show. This is episode number 333 of the Immigration Answers Show. We are 1/3 of the way to 1,000, if you can believe that, 333. So that's a good number. I like the number 3. Today is sponsored by the number 3. I'm surprised there's already people in the waiting room, so I'm going to get to them in just a minute. I just had to give a shout out to my son Ismail's school, San Diego State, who beat Alabama to make it to the Elite 8. They will play tomorrow to see if they go to the Final Four in the NCAA men's basketball tournament for 2023. I hope you all are having a good day, that you had a good weekend. If you haven't already, leave us a comment in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. We have a new video fellow working for us. His name is Nick, and we're going to be working on some new exciting things for the channel, for the show. The live show will continue, but we're going to be doing some more recorded segments, some immigrant restaurants. We're going to interview owners of immigrant restaurants, talk to them. We're going to do a lot of cool things coming up in the weeks to come. I'm excited to have Nick. We're also going to probably build a new studio, so that'll be exciting. But the waiting room is almost full. Let me go ahead and get the link real quick before I get started answering questions so that I can share that. Again, if you haven't already, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know where around the world people are watching from. Here's the link, and the waiting room is already full. I will try to take as many calls as I can this hour. Let's get started with Mike. Mike, how are you? Mike, I think you're on mute.
Hey, yeah, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We spoke yesterday. I had a question about the my girlfriend was asking me about the timelines that it takes right now for getting employment authorization documents and the green card.
Well, of course, nothing happens until you're actually married, so that's number one. Number two,
Correct, yeah. It's just some questions I had that she was wondering.
when you file for employment authorization, usually you're going to get fingerprinted in about a month,
Mhm.
and then you should get the work card anywhere from a month later to 7 months later.
All right, so that's when you said when I file, you mean like that's after I submit all the documents to USCIS. It takes a month to 7 months.
From fingerprinting, which takes its own month.
Or so in total, it's going to be about 8 months.
Maybe.
All right. Also, she was wondering with regard to you mentioned something about something called a writ of mandamus. Does that like, let's say it takes me like a year after filing and I still haven't received anything, including the work authorization. Is that a course that I may be able to pursue, like 1 year after filing?
Yeah, but you're not getting married till October, so
Yeah.
you're the biggest delay right now. So
Right.
this whole, thinking about filing writs of mandamus
Yeah.
before you've even gotten married seems a little bit putting the cart before the horse, when right now you guys are the delay.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's all the questions that I have right now, Jim.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Nathana's up next. Hi, Nathana. You're on mute.
Oh, can I turn off the camera?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, Jim. I have just 2 questions. The first one is, if a person comes on a tourist visa, marries to a green card holder, and while they are, under valid status, then of course they fall out of status, and by the time they get to the interview, F2A isn't current anymore. What happens?
Then they're stuck out of status waiting for the green card to become current, for their priority date to become current. That's a real problem, especially now that they aren't remaining current. That could really cause you some trouble. I don't recommend that course of action. I would rather the person go back home and apply from overseas.
Yeah, but can like they wait in the US or do they have to leave?
They don't have to, but I would advise them to.
Okay. And the second question is, let's say a person has dual citizenship and in a country that doesn't have the visa waiver program and another country that has. They get an ESTA approved and they decide to apply for a tourist visa and it gets denied. Can they still use the ESTA or not?
Probably not, especially if the country that gives them the right to ESTA is the second country that they got their passport from. In other words, it's not their native country.
Okay, gotcha.
And usually if you apply for a tourist visa and you get denied, you're not going to get ESTA or you're going to get turned back.
I mean, but what if they apply for the ESTA before and get approved and then apply for the tourist visa after?
Why would they do that?
Because I don't know what they're trying to do. Probably not something good, but it was like a question that I saw.
Sounds like people are trying to be pretty clever and they should just follow the rules.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. That was it. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, Nathana. Bye. All right. Dovlet's here. Hi, Dovlet.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. I just hopped on a live just to ask, could you have a look at the embassy I-134 that I sent to the email?
I have not, but when I'm done with this show today, I'll look at it.
All right. If you want, I can also present the screen and just show you the website or the next live, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just check it out. I'll get back to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Okay. Bye. All right. Let's say hi to Amma. Hi, Amma. You're on mute.
Hi, Jim. Thanks so much for accepting me on this show.
Sure.
Okay. I have two questions to ask. So I have a case pending at MVC for my kids in Ghana. So I wanted an advice. Is it possible to move the case from Ghana to another nearby country? That's I've heard is the interview are moving fast over there.
You can try. In my experience, it usually just makes things more complicated. But if things are at a dead stop at Ghana, you might try it. But I think sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth.
Okay. All right. Okay. My second question again is my I-48 is pending. It's it's been like a year now. Can I sue them or I still have to wait?
Yeah. So is your 45 based on marriage or something else?
Yes, it's marriage.
And when did you file the 45?
2001.
2021, you mean?
Yeah, 2021.
So your green card case has been pending for 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had my working authorization. That was 2022 February.
Mm-hmm.
And I went for the interview in March, 2022 in March.
Your interview was a year ago.
Yes.
And still no decision?
I got annoyed letter, which I used a lawyer to respond, and we responded in April. And then,
what was the noid about?
Well, it was about my ex-husband that we divorced, but then they feel like we used the same address to go for the B1, B2 visa. It was both of us, and we already had issues before we went for the visa. So upon our coming in to the US, I didn't even come with him. He came alone. So we got divorced before I came by myself. So I met my new husband here. So when we went to the interview, I think based on the questions, they feel like they asked me to explain the reason why we went together to use the same address But then in Africa, we don't really have a good address system. So he had moved from the apartment, but then he still used the same address because we had already applied already for the visa.
So the big question is, did your ex-husband go back to Ghana, or did your ex-husband marry
He went
someone?
back to Ghana. He's been going back to Ghana. Currently, I don't know if he's here or I don't really know his movement.
Well, has he married an American citizen?
I can't really tell because I don't ask of his personal issues now. It's
Yeah.
just we
Well,
talk, but then it's based on the kids.
they think that the two of you cooked up some scheme to get divorced, to come to the United States, to enter into fake marriages with U.S. citizens, and then get your kids over here. So that's why they're sitting on your case.
Okay. So is there something that I can do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can sue for that for sure. 2 years is plenty long, and a year from the interview is plenty long.
Okay. And since the case is pending, is it advisable to apply for a parole because I've been here for 2 years and I wanted to go back home to see the kids?
I would focus on getting my green card first.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard, but I came across a case recently where somebody got advanced parole, then their green card got denied, and then they didn't let them back in the country.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I called your office concerning this issue, but then I was told to hold on till a year comes and I should get back to the office again if I want to sue them.
No, you've waited plenty long. What's the first letter of your last name?
AY.
AY.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look you up. But if somebody emailed you, just email them back and say I was on the show with Jim and he said that it's time to sue.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Amma.
Bye.
All right. Let's say hi to Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hey, how are you doing, Jim?
How are you?
Good, thank you. Let's see. My recent fiance lives in Odessa, Ukraine. He's going through a lot of turmoil. Wondering how we could get her to the U.S.
Have you filed for a fiance petition for her?
No, haven't done any paperwork yet.
Have you met her face to face at some point in the last 2 years?
No, only online.
Yeah, so that won't. No, you can't do a fiance case until you actually meet her face to face.
So I knew there was if I could not go there, or if she could not come here to meet face to face, because of certain circumstances.
Like what?
Well, for the war in Ukraine.
Why can't you go meet in a third country?
We could do that. Maybe Poland.
I wouldn't want you to start a fiance case by handing them a very easy way to deny it, which would be to apply for that waiver, because those waivers are usually denied. And you would wait 7 or 8 months for that to happen. So I think that would be setting yourself up for a big headache.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all the questions I have.
Thanks, Bill. Good luck, bud.
I appreciate it, Jim.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, let's say hi to Kay. Hi, Kay.
Yeah, I'm cool, Jim.
Are you
Good
driving?
afternoon to you. Now I want to park now. I can't miss this chance. I've been waiting on this for the past 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah, now I pull over. Yeah, thanks for this opportunity, Jim.
Sure.
Yeah, would you mind if I stay off camera?
No, that's fine. I can just bounce you over to off camera. Here we go. All right. So what can I help you with?
Yeah, I have two questions, but before my questions, I want to paint the scenario so that you'll be able to judge me rightly. I came into this country in 2018 with my family, my wife and two kids, and they applied for asylum. So I went back. I didn't stay with them because I just brought them down.
Wait, they applied for asylum, and you went back to the country that they applied to asylum from?
Yeah, exactly.
Why? Okay, so I mean that was a dumb idea.
Yeah, because it's my daughter that's at risk,
Yeah.
not me. It's my daughter.
Okay.
So I decided to just like bring them to safety. So I went back. So they
Okay.
applied for asylum. So it became a court case. And a year later, which is 2019, they were granted asylum by a judge. So meanwhile, between 2018 and 2019, I made about 4 entrants. I was coming to check them. I was coming and going because I am still responsible for their upkeep and a lot of things, the home, everything. So while the final judge, the final adjudication in the court, I came in 2 weeks before it was adjudged the case. So I witnessed it, though I didn't get there earlier that day. But when they were adjudged, my attorney advised me that instead of going back, I should just stay so that he filed I-730 for me, which I agreed. So ever since then, he filed for me. A month after, which is in December 2019, I did my biometric. And from then till now, I'm still waiting approval. So what happened last week was that I was given a notice of interview, and in that notice, all the things I was asked to bring, actually I have them. But my greatest concern is that um, the joint tax form I was asked to present, which I've been doing since 2020 with my wife. I I worked with an I-team, so to say. I use an I-team to work, and I file tax with it. So having messed up in this area, I said, let me call you and
That's
seek
the
professional.
that's the thing you're worried about the most.
Yes,
You're
that's
not
the
worried
thing
about you're not worried about the fact that you went back to the bad country 4 times.
Yes, I'm not worried about that. I'm
Okay.
not, probably I'm wrong, but I said that is the probably you cannot judge me, right? That's why I'm painting this to you.
Well, I
So
think they're going to give you. I think they're going to give you hell about that.
so why I went back to that country is that I'm not the one at risk. It's my daughter. My
Yeah.
daughter, they want to circumcise her.
Right.
So it is she
Yeah.
we took down here and her mom.
Yeah.
So it is not me. That
Okay.
was why I went back to my job. So
Yeah.
I was just coming to check them. But you might just give me professional advice if I'm wrong, all right?
Well, no, I think
So
that's a good argument. As far as the taxes, if you worked, you're saying that you worked without permission. You're worried about working without permission, or that you use an ITIN number.
I use ITIN, yes, and I file tax with it. Now I was asked to bring all those things to the interview.
Yeah.
My joint tax file that I filed with my wife. So I'm particularly worried about that. That's
What does your
um,
lawyer say?
he actually told me that what I should say is that I buy and sell. That actually he said I shouldn't have done that, but it has happened. So
Yeah.
what is the next line of advice?
So you got to
Do
tell the
I
truth.
stand
You
any
got
chance? Or
to. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker. I think you got to tell the truth and just see what happens.
okay, just tell them this is what happened. And actually, why I went to work then was that it was in a COVID situation. My wife contracted COVID, and she was a one. I mean, catering for the whole family. But since that, when we contracted that COVID, everybody was home. I had to go out to do something. So that was what
Right.
happened. I don't know if I stand any chance at all.
I mean, most 730s are approved without an interview, so I think they've got some things to ask you about for sure. So I share your lawyer's concern. I think it's going to be a tough interview.
Okay, that's all I want to ask. What even
Okay.
if that goes by? What about during the change of status? Let us assume I have that. During the change of status, is there any way out even with that?
Are you asking, do I think, can you get a green card based on these
Yeah,
facts?
yeah.
I think you can. Yeah, I think unauthorized work for asylees can be forgiven. So I think there's a chance.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to be in contact with you. I'm going to call your office so that we can talk more.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's say hi to Ziad. Hi, Ziad.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Well, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. So, Jim, actually, I have been married to an American citizen like for 2 months ago, and I have recently filed the marriage-based green card files. I have three questions, to be honest. Actually, my first question regarding the I-864 affidavit of support. I got my main sponsor, which is my wife. She have scheduled the past 3 tax years, but I only got the most recent one. And I felt this and I wrote this in the I-864 affidavit of support. If I didn't write the 2 previous years, will be at a problem. That's number one.
Yes.
Will it be
Yeah,
a problem?
Yes, they won all 3 years.
Oh, so, okay. So, but I read that they only want the most recent year only.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Okay. Okay. So what now? They will like
They'll,
send me.
they'll probably send you a request for evidence. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I will have to like. So if the third year, the third most recent year, it was like filed jointly with my wife's ex-husband. So what should I do regarding this?
Well, you'll have to figure out what her actual income was and prove up her actual income with the W-2s or whatever other proof she has of a salary or wages or whatever.
Okay. But she didn't work at that time, to be honest.
So she had no income that year.
No.
So you have a joint sponsor?
Yeah, I have a joint sponsor, and I have filed 3 years of the joint sponsor.
So if the joint sponsor is rich and makes enough money, they might not get too worked up over the lack of stuff from your spouse. It's sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Uh-huh. So yeah, I forgot to tell you this. I have got a joint sponsor who makes a lot of money, and I have filed the 3 tax forms of the joint sponsor.
So you might be fine.
So I will be safe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So number two. Currently, I'm a postdoc at one of the hospitals here in Texas.
Okay.
I was asking if I want, like, right now I'm a visiting postdoc. I'm not getting paid, but right now I have a job offer from this same hospital, but they require me to just like sign a contract to begin a full year. Right now my J1 is still legit, but they want to like issue me a new DS or extend the current DS. So my question, will that affect my case or not?
Well, do you have the 5-year resident or do you have the 2-year residency return home requirement?
Because it is like a research scholar J1, not the alien physician. I'm applying to the match next year, not that year.
Okay, so you've never had a J that required you to return home for 2 years?
No, sir.
Okay. So now this hospital wants to give you a job offer. What's the question for me?
The question is, if they like extend my J1 visa or issue me a new DS, will that affect my I-485? No. Okay. The third question, if I want to like go to one other hospital through a J1 transfer, will that affect my case?
No. You're married to a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a U.S. citizen. You're fine.
My wife is a U.S. citizen. Yeah.
So you're good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Like again, as long as I have a joint sponsor and I have filed everything regarding the joint sponsor and he makes enough money, I should be good.
You should be good. You might get a request for evidence, but if not, you should be fine.
Okay. Okay. So the one last question. The purpose of the affidavit of support, they look at it as a whole. Like, okay, they will look at my wife and the joint sponsor, and they will say, hey, okay, the total will be sufficient, or what?
Each person is judged on their own merits, but if the co-sponsor makes enough and signs the forms, that's all that matters.
Yeah, he makes enough and he signed the forms.
Yeah, good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ziad. See you, bud. All right, Rich is here. Let's say hi to Rich. Hi, Rich.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little muffled, but I can hear you.
Thanks so much. I'll try to yeah. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. You can hear me better now. So I have a couple of questions. So the first question is, does VAWA have any ability to overcome or erase, or not, well, overcome a stipulated misrepresentation of citizenship by at the border? Can VAWA? I've heard that VAWA can overcome permanent bars, but I don't know if the particular permanent bar regarding misrepresentation is part of that.
I believe the answer to that question is no, that false claims to U.S. citizenship can't be overcome by anything.
By anything. Okay. And so so the only situation then in those scenarios is to just sort of appeal, because there was a timely retraction that was not put in, that was not noted by the Border Patrol. There was a timely retraction.
So you're talking in conclusions. Tell me what actually happened.
So what happened was there was an attempt to cross back into the country, and by an undocumented alien, and so there was a misunderstanding about what the person didn't speak great English. So when they said, "Are you legally allowed to enter the country?" There was just a nodding of yes and a sense of yes. Then they let them through, and then they detained them right away.
Hold on. If that was the only question, then that's not a false claim to U.S. citizenship.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
false claim to U.S. I mean, because non-citizens can be allowed entry into the United States, right?
Correct.
So you never want to admit to having made a false claim to U.S. citizenship unless it's crystal clear that you made such a misrepresentation. But like, there are people that work in the United States by saying that they have a green card. That's not a false claim to U.S. citizenship. That's a false claim to being a lawful permanent resident, which is much more forgivable than a false claim to U.S. citizenship.
I'm just reporting what the FOIA said. The FOIA said there was a misrepresentation of citizenship.
So that's different then. So is it that they checked a box that says there was a false claim, or does it actually give, like what you said to me was, they said, do you have permission to come in the United States? But is there a back and forth in the CBP record that says that the person actually made a false claim to citizenship?
It's just written in the notes, but the alien was returned under Title 42, so it wasn't a deportation per se.
Right.
And then when I sent for the FOIA, all it said was, misrepresentation of citizenship was like it was in the FOIA notes.
So that's a little shaky. That's something you can attack, I think.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, and no, I went back there and they said that I said, are there videos and audios? And they said, well, we do record here, but there's no audio. Do you know, is that true? There's no audio in some of these, like in the San Diego border, what's the word, border, the walk-in.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay, so but okay, so that's I was interested about that because okay, so the only option there is to just kind of go on the mercy of the consular representative to tell them, hey, there really was a retraction. But when the Spanish speaking officer came, that's when the retraction took place. That was within 10 or 15 minutes. And then the person said, no, I'm not claiming to be a citizen. I was born in Mexico. I didn't do that at all. So that's when it happened, but it wasn't noted. And then she was returned.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's interesting how they only put in the stuff that's bad for the immigrant, not the stuff that's good.
Right. Yeah.
But that being said, that thing also becomes the official record. So they're going to have a hard time saying, on the one hand, I didn't really understand English, but then when the translator showed up, I don't know. I think that's a close call. But yeah, you're right. It's not so much that they're going to beg for the mercy of the officer, but they're going to need to be well versed in what exactly happened and be able to tell the story step by step. Like they can't do what you were doing, which is getting conclusions. They have to say everything that happened and then let the officer make the determination.
Of course. And so we're going to apply to your office this. Now I heard in last week's show, or sorry, yesterday's show, that your rates are going up. I was wondering, can we pay ahead of the the date so that we can save the $200.
Yeah, if you sign the contract this week, anytime this week, it would be on the old schedule. It goes up next week.
Right. So if we call in, so I know sometimes it's like it takes a week to get an appointment and then another week to sign. Is there any way to accelerate that?
That'll be faster than that, especially if you say you were on the show and that you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. We're ready to go. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So let me see anything else. Okay, last question. There's in a couple of weeks the I-130, ironically the I-130 for this individual came in. That the interview came in, so it's a couple of weeks away, 2 weeks away. If there's any potential like VAWA application consideration for future options, are we expected to have everything in the I-130 align with what may be said on a future VAWA, or are those separate things and we don't have to worry that everything was perfectly aligned? Like no one will say, well, you didn't say this during the I-130 interview. Is there any concern like that?
So how is this person related to you?
That it's a spouse.
And so why are we talking about VAWA?
Just in terms, I would just grasping at straws, worried about what will happen if we're turned down from the consular agent.
So you don't mean VAWA, you mean a waiver application.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, I'm worried. We don't know to what extent. Yeah, I mean, now that you told me that VAWA doesn't fix anything, we probably won't even have that with that concern. But basically, the concern, the question was, do we need to worry that everything we represent in the I-130 is exactly what's going to be said in a future VAWA petition or something like that? If we're looking for some option or some relief through a future VAWA thing.
But VAWA would mean that you were abusive to your spouse. Why are we even talking about? I don't even understand why.
No, it would be the daughter, the oldest daughter, the daughter. It wouldn't be me. It would be like through a citizen daughter thing. She's like there's an older daughter.
That your daughter would be abusive to her?
Her old, yeah, it's her oldest, yeah. Yeah, and so there was a lot of, and then there's like, yeah, we'll get into specifics. But I guess my only question is,
so I can answer your question.
Yeah.
Your story should just be the truth. Whatever the truth is should be the story. It should be consistent. You know, Mark Twain said, if you never tell a lie, you don't have to have a good memory. So think about that.
Remember anything. Yeah.
Tell the effing truth and let the chips fall where they may.
Sounds great. Okay, so contact. Do we call today or do we have to wait until Monday?
You can call today. Nothing's going to happen. It better would be to email today and say, hey, I was on the show with Jim right at the 12:30 mark on Saturday.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, Jim, for everything.
Thanks, Rich. Okay. See you, bud.
Okay.
Bye. All right. Chang's here. Let's say hi to Chang. Hi, Chang. Or Chong.
Hey.
Hi, Chong.
Chong, can you hear me?
How you doing?
Oh, how you doing? My name is Chong.
Hi, Chong.
Well, I have a question. I'm on the process of getting my green card renewal right now, and it had expired on 2010. And I'm still waiting on my renewal. It's been over a year now. I have prior, when I was a teenager, I don't know, nothing felony, no drug charges, misdemeanors. Like I guess I got like a argumentative fight in my teenage days, and I've been in and out of jail. I have not been in jail about over 20 years, I think, by now. So let's say once I do get my green card, or can I try to apply for a citizenship now?
You can apply for citizenship with an expired green card.
Okay.
The one thing that I would say is that you'd want to make sure that have you left the United States anytime recently?
Not. Last time I traveled was 2001, I think.
Yeah. So I think we'd have to just do a quick analysis to see whether or not whatever crimes you were convicted of would make you subject to deportation. But if not, then yeah, you can apply for citizenship now. But you'd want to spend a little bit of time seeing if any of those crimes make you deportable.
Because I was under deportation But only reason they let me out is because my father had become a citizen when I was a minor, and
Mm.
at that time, I'm sure the law has changed by now. And at that time, when they let me out, the immigration judge said, when you leave this place, they give me a piece of paper, told me to go file this citizenship. But at the time, I was I was I was just not in the right place. I didn't have money to apply for a citizenship at then.
So
So I just kind of
how old were you? How old were you when your dad became a citizen?
I was like 16, and
And
now I
were
am.
you in his custody?
Oh yeah, and my father has passed away
Uh-huh.
uh,
But
about 10 years.
did
Yeah,
you have a green card
of course, of course,
when your dad became a citizen, did you already have your green card?
of course.
So you might already be a citizen. So that is, you wouldn't naturalize, you would just get a certificate of citizenship. So you should call our office and we can figure out if you're already a citizen. If you're not, you can apply for citizenship. If you are, then we can just get you the certificate of citizenship, and then you don't need a green card, you just get a US passport.
So can I call you and talk about this? Can I call your
Sure.
office? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
You want
yeah,
the
I think
number?
I have you. Yeah, hold on. Give me a second, okay?
Sure. I'll put it on for everybody while you're doing that.
All right, I'm ready.
It's 314
314
961
961
8200.
8200.
Yep.
All right, so what state are you guys in?
We have offices in California,
Oh, okay.
Virginia, and St. Louis.
Okay. Okay, so I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh yeah, sure. But we handle stuff all over the country.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for
Thanks,
this
Chong.
information.
See you, bud.
All right, talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's always interesting. Sometimes people are facing deportation or they've never gotten around to getting their citizenship. Sometimes people are already U.S. citizens. Those are always interesting cases to work on. All right, let's see what Sam has to say. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Jim. I just had a couple questions about my wife. I'm a DoD contractor in South Korea right now.
Okay.
We're in the process. We got our I-130 approved. Now we're just scheduling for the visa appointment at the embassy.
Great.
I just don't know. I'm just kind of worried now because I live in Korea with my wife, and once she gets her green card approved, do you know if DoD contractors are protected like military members' spouses are?
Well, what's the plan as far as the living arrangements and all that stuff?
So we plan on moving back to the United States at some point, but we don't have like a hard set date because contractors, it's kind of just when I lose my job, then I'll move back. But I'm just trying to make sure that, do we have to move as soon as she gets her green card, or can we stay?
Well, she won't get her green card in Korea. She'll only get her green card if she goes to the United States. She'll get an immigrant visa and she'll have a window to go to the United States. So I would advocate for her to go and wait until she gets her green card and to apply for a reentry permit, which lets her stay out of the United States for up to 2 years. But that's going to keep her in the United States probably for about 6 or 8 weeks at least.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I really had.
So like if your parents are there, or if you still have property there.
Yeah, we planned on once after the interview and she got that visa, we were going to go visit my parents. And then
so then as soon as you land, I'd be ready to file a reentry permit and then just have her wait there until it gets receipted, and then have it come to your parents' house or have a lawyer do it, and then she can have that and stay out of the United States for a full 2 years without having to worry about coming back and forth.
And then we just have to come back and then reapply every 2 years
if you're going to be gone that long. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. All right, that was Sam. Jacob's here. Let's see what Jacob has to say. Hi, Jacob.
What's going on, man? So long story short, I lost my wife's green card and she got a stamp on her passport. And I was wondering, can she travel with that, with the extension letter for the passport has already expired or no?
So did she have a conditional green card or did she have a full 10-year green card?
No, she had a 2-year and yeah, I lost
So
it.
when did the 2-year green card get approved?
It was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Let me go ask.
Getting a little tour of Jacob's shirt.
Was
Was when?
Was approved in October 5
Oh
October
yeah,
2019.
2019.
And did you guys file a 751?
Yes.
Yes.
And did that
20 months ago.
20 months ago, and that's still pending?
Yes.
Yes.
And how was the extension letter? When the extension letter ended when?
It ended. When?
We filed
When did it end? Expire?
the letter 18 months.
Yeah, 18 months.
18 months.
So when did it expire? What date?
Expired in January. 8th of January.
What year? Nothing. This year?
Yes.
This year.
Okay, so she needs to get another stamp in her passport if she wants to travel.
Okay. She just got a stamp, but.
Oh, what's the stamp? The stamp should have an expiration date on the stamp.
What's the stamp? The expiration date on the stamp?
It's 1 year.
It's 1 year.
I just got it.
So she can travel for 1 year, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And she doesn't need an expiration extension letter for the passport that allows
No, if you've gone beyond your extension letter on the 751 and you still haven't gotten the approval in the 10-year green card, then they give you that stamp in your passport, and there should be a date on there. She just has to come back by the date inside the stamp.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Alrighty. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Jacob. See ya.
All right. See ya.
Sounds like Jacob and his wife got their hands full over there. Marina's back. Hi, Marina.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So a quick update and a question for my DV Lottery 23. So I did pay on your great advice the KCC fees, and
Yeah.
I just received a receipt as paid, right? And now I was wondering what is the next step, because I didn't get any instruction from USCIS. Do I need to look for instruction or?
No, they won't give you any instructions. So did you check the April visa bulletin? Is your number current?
Oh, yes, my number was current. I think even in March, it's 22,500.
So now it's time to apply for your green card.
Okay, so I don't need to wait for any instructions.
No, and they won't give you any. You got to get moving on this. You should have filed it right away. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm giving you the instructions. Go file it.
Okay. So it is a I-485 or something like that.
Yeah. So you might want to get help from a lawyer, but
Yes.
it's an I-485, an I-765 for the work card, and an I-131 for the travel.
131.
And then you'll need the medical. You'll have to do your medical.
Okay, and so my next question is that in the same time, I'm just going to send back my RFE for the EB1, and it just happened all in the same time. So is it okay? Should I not do the DV lottery and wait for the RFE?
You should absolutely do both.
Okay. And so is there a chance there would be 2 interviews, 2 medicals or something?
No, one will finish before the other.
Okay. All right. And so I have an attorney for my EB1, but you told me last time that it was extremely hard to fill out by myself these forms and that I should get some help.
Yeah, we'd be happy to help.
Okay. May I call your office or?
Yeah, just send an email to info@hackingimmigration.law. Say, I'm Marina. I've been on the show a few times. I got the DV lottery and I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you for your time, especially on a Saturday morning. Really appreciate it.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day, Marina.
You too. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right. That's our friend Marina. Phil's here. What do you say, Phil?
Hey, James. Happy weekend. Thank you for your time. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. What can I help you with?
Yeah, I have 2 questions. So my first question got to do with my petition to remove my condition. So I went for the interview with my wife and I asked for additional documents, which we submitted almost like 3 or 4 months now. I haven't got a response. And I was being told after 60 days, they should get back to me, but they haven't gotten back to me. What do you advise me to do?
Well, so let's back up. So when you first got your green card, did you get it inside the United States or did you have an immigrant visa?
I had a B1, B2 visa before I got here.
And when you got married, were you in status or were you out of status?
It was expired. Yep.
So you were out of status when you got married. What country are you from?
From Ghana.
And were you married before back in Ghana?
Yes.
Okay, so these are all, the reason I'm asking you all these things is because these are things that are high on the fraud list, right? So
Right.
being married before when you got your visit visa, did you get divorced in Ghana or did you get divorced in the United States?
I got divorced here.
Okay, good. That's good. Okay. All right. And then tell me about how things went at your initial green card interview.
Oh, the lady, yeah, she was called Martin. I mean, it was a little bit tough. Yeah, she was asking me the same question you were asking me about my previous marriage and all that. Yeah.
And how did it go? Like, did they separate you? Did they separate you?
No.
Okay, that's good. And then tell me about the green card interview for the 751.
Yeah, so that one got separated when we went there a couple of months ago. We were trying to remove the condition. They separated us once we got there. And
Which field
she
office?
asked us a few questions, and I went out and she came in and she asked my wife the same question as well. Yeah, and she was like, we need more evidence. So we need to send out few other documents, which we did, and we haven't gotten back to them. They haven't gotten back to us.
Right. So how long was the 751 interview?
Do you mean the duration?
Yeah.
I think it took place for like maybe 30, 35 minutes. Sorry.
And did you have an attorney there with you?
Come again?
Did you have an attorney with you?
No.
Okay. And when did you file the 751?
I filed it somewhere 2 years ago, if I remember.
More than 2 years ago?
Yes.
And how long ago was the interview?
The interview lasts for probably like 35 to 40 minutes.
Wait, which month was it in?
It happened before the Christmas. I think somewhere November.
Okay. And which field office was it?
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're probably sitting on the case. They're probably waiting to see if you're going to get divorced. They're probably waiting to see if something happens, or they're going to, there's something about the case that they don't like.
Okay.
There aren't many 751 interviews these days unless it's high on their fraud list. So you might have to sue them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if I check my online status, it shows that I have I did file my N400 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it shows that we are going in the next 24 days, but we haven't received any official letter
for an interview.
Yes.
Yeah. So just wait and see what happens with that, and then ask them, hey, why is my 751 taking so long? When you're done with your N400, ask them, why is my 751 taking so long?
Okay. But do you think, I mean, they will skip it and go to the N400 whilst the N71 is still pending?
Yeah, there's not a connection between 751s and N400s. Weird things happen, so anything's possible. But the other thing is, in my experience, when they say for Seattle that they're scheduling you for the naturalization, it's still several months. So I think you've got a while to wait.
Oh, okay. Even though it shows that I have 24 days to go.
24 days to go until they tell you what the interview is.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it might be a while.
Okay. Okay, no worries, Jim. Yeah.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you so much for your time. God bless.
Bye, buddy. See ya. All right. Let's say hi to Tila. Tila, how are you?
How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm Tia's fiance here. I'm a Syrian living here in Turkey as a resident. My fiance from United States. We filed our K1 visa at September 2, 2021. And our K1 visa has been approved through USCIS on March 3rd, 2023.
So like three weeks ago.
Yeah. and then we asked, contact our lawyer. She sent us some link. We tried to do something, like we asked her for help or something like that. She keep brushing me, like brushing me off. So we watched your video. We filed our DS 160 form.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was and then I was unable to pay the fees or to make appointment for the interview.
Yeah.
So what can we do here? I don't know the next step. My lawyer didn't answer anymore. She asked me for money, for more money. So
Yeah,
what
well-
can we do now? Like I called the embassy here. We called her here together with my fiance. We
Yeah.
didn't get any help.
Yeah, we can help.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
what is our next step?
Just send us an email and say I was on the show and I want your help with the DS 160, paying the fees and getting my appointment scheduled. We'll be happy to take over the case.
And it will be how much? It will be like,
I don't know yet because I want to look everything over and see how things are, but it wouldn't be like our full legal fee. It'd be cheaper than usual because a lot of the work's already been done, but there's still some work that has to be done. So probably like $3,000.
okay, so these things we can't do this without an attorney. I'm sorry, because
I don't know. I don't know if you can or not.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tila.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. That was Tila and his fiance in the background whispering to him. That's always fun. Indy's here. Indy, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Indy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I did the Freedom of Information request that your office asked me to make for my file.
Okay.
They're claiming privacy and foreseeable harm on my declaration statement, criminal records, court transcripts, records that prove crimes committed by the judiciary and the prosecutors. There's obvious conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
We've suffered many.
All right, let's say hi to Abu. Hi, Abu.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good.
Ramadan
I'm doing well.
Kareem.
Yes, Ramadan Kareem to you.
How you are doing with fasting?
I'm doing okay. It's 2 days in. I'm doing fine. The first day I had a really bad headache, but yesterday and today I feel good. I got up early. I got on the treadmill. I got on the treadmill and then I had my smoothie and a peanut butter sandwich, and now I feel pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, I get a headache for the very day because of drinking tea and coffee,
Right,
But
because I
I'm
didn't
doing
have
fine.
my diet soda. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I have a question for a friend, which I know your answer before, but I want to show him that I asked the question and what your answer is, because he applied for 485 based on refugees, and they have been requested for evidence that to do the medical record again, but they failed to respond to the FRE. Then the case have been get denied.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. And now they have to, they have the two options, either to reapply again or apply for motion to reopen the application again. So what you say here?
Well, how long ago did the case get denied?
Now like 20 days ago.
Okay. And does he have the new medical?
No, they didn't do it yet because they have been confused. What the next step?
Why didn't they do the medical? Why didn't they do it last time when they were asked to do it?
They said financially issues.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would do the medical right away, and I would do a motion to reopen. That's a clean way. I mean, usually I don't like motions to reopen, but that's something clean and easy. And they didn't pay a filing fee for the 485 because it's based on refugee, but get that medical done and send it in. That's what I would do.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Abu. See you, buddy.
Yep. See you.
Assalamu alaikum. All right. Let's say hi to Rick. What do you say, Rick?
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much for taking my question. Just real
Sure.
quick. So if I'm in the process of having my wife's status adjusted, so she can get her green card through marriage,
Yeah.
our lawyer said that one of the extra forms we can do is for her to be able to leave the country, like for emergencies for with her family and stuff.
Yes.
She said that she doesn't recommend my wife leaving the country because if she were to try to come back, even with that document, that a customs officer could just arbitrarily deny her entry, and obviously that'll create problems. So I just want to get your opinion on it.
That's generally true. I always tell people don't travel until you get the green card if you can avoid it, but it's nice to have. We always apply for it. You never know if you're going to need it. You never know if mom or dad or somebody back in the home country is going to get sick. So we always apply for it, but we try not to use it unless we have to. But we have people use it for vacations all the time. So I wouldn't be overly scared to use it. It's very, very rare, that scenario that you just said. But the only caveat I would say is, has your wife always maintained immigration status, or is she out of status but for the marriage case?
Because we've been we've had a relationship for like 5 years or 4 years. We've been married 2 years.
Yeah.
The last time she entered was March 2022, and so now she's out of status because it's past 6 months.
So then I definitely vote to stay. I'd apply for it just in case, but in that case I would only use it in an absolute emergency.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. See you, buddy.
Yep.
All right, we got time for one more. Let's see, who will it be? I don't see anybody on camera. Let me see what's what, and then I'll go to LA. LA, are you with us?
I am. Hi, Jim. How are you? Thank you.
I'm well, thank you.
I just have a couple questions for you. So I have been married to my husband, who's an American citizen we've been married for 20 years. We live in Canada.
Yeah.
And we are looking into moving to the States. I haven't started the process yet for immigration just because I'm just a little unclear as to like which way we're going to go about it.
Okay.
Because we do have children. They also have American status as well. We got that for them last year.
Great.
So my questions for you are, with regards to the finance part, because you had said that we require 3 years. He hasn't filed his taxes in the States, but with this year's taxes, we are going to do the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, he was let go from his job. He was laid off. He did get severance, so he does have enough for 2020. But here in Canada, because of everything with COVID, kids were mandated to stay home. So he was doing like the homeschooling with our kids because we didn't have anybody to watch our kids.
Sure.
So he was on EI during that year. So he doesn't have enough income from that year.
Yeah.
But we do have assets like a house and stuff, which we're going to keep if we do move because we want to rent it out and stuff. So would the financial aspect of the process be a challenge for us?
I would just say get a co-sponsor. Don't try using assets and houses in Canada and all that stuff because they won't consider it, and they'll ask you for a joint sponsor anyway. So I would start by finding a joint sponsor.
Okay.
Still make sure your husband files those taxes for the last 3 years, but then file an I-864 from him and then an affidavit of support from the co-sponsor.
Okay. And what about my income? Is that also acknowledged?
Nope. You could be a millionaire or have 10 cents to your name. Nobody cares how much money you make.
Okay. So I have 2 more questions for you.
Good.
One of which is, so if we file from Canada,
mm-hmm.
and because his family's all in the US, would I be able to travel with him to visit them? Like we have a couple of functions in the next year. So I just don't know if I can travel or not.
Yes, as long as you're always honest about whatever applications have been filed. So if you come through customs and they say, has anybody filed an immigrant visa petition for you? You'd have to say yes.
Okay.
If the I-130 is on file, as long as you always tell the truth.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. And the last question that I have is regarding the medical.
Okay.
So I've looked through all your videos and I have yet to see anybody ask this question. And I apologize if.
Oh, you're fine. You don't have to apologize
about this question. So the medical requires specific inoculations, which I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And not not necessarily the one that's required right now, the new one, but previous ones, because even my children don't even have any. Is that going to be a problem?
Yeah.
It will be. Okay. Now, would I need a lawyer for that? Like, what are the chances of having, because I saw that you could put in for like a request for, I don't even know what the document's called.
Waiver, for a waiver.
Yes, a waiver.
Those are really hard to get the consulates to pay attention to. You can ask for a waiver. They're going to give you a hell of a lot of trouble about it, though. They're going to want you to get the vaccines. And so if you can demonstrate that for whatever reasons you have a long history of opposing these kinds of things, then that might work. But I think it's going to be a tough sell.
Like, even if my children don't have a single one.
I think that's a good argument, but I think that they're still going to not like it.
Okay.
From an immigration standpoint, it makes things a lot more complicated. That's what I'll say. I mean, you're a long way from there. That's that's going to be a while till you have to deal with that. That'll be sort of at the last stage at the embassy. The other question I wanted to ask you was, if you and your husband have been living in Canada for 20 years, what ties does he have to the United States? What are you going to do to reestablish his domicile here for the time? You don't have to do it now, but like when the time comes, how are you going to show that he has an intention to live in the United States? Because they don't really want to give immigrant visas to the spouses of U.S. citizens who live abroad unless that U.S. citizen has shown that they intend to come back. Like, you'll want to get, what I would say is you'll want him to go to the town where you're using for your U.S. address, if it's the parent's house or whatever. And then you're going to want to like get the kids enrolled in school and do stuff to show that we're all moving to America. And that's why we need to get her the green card.
So now he does have, him and his siblings do own the parents' property that the parents live in right now, but we wouldn't be moving to that state.
Yeah, so you might want to use a lawyer for this, just because you're going to need some base of operations. You're going to need some U.S. address to use for the applications. Otherwise, it's going to be really tricky.
Okay. Even, what if because at some point he is going to be looking for work in the States.
Yeah, so all that, again, that's for later stuff.
That's
but
later,
yeah, that's all. I mean, you're literally going to want him to come to the United States and open a U.S. bank account, to get a lease or whatever it is you're going to do, to get a library card, to enroll the kids in school, or to at least do research on where they're going to go to school. We need to have some push towards the United States for everybody but mom, so that we can justify asking the State Department for an immigrant visa and green card for mom.
Okay. I think you've answered everything.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, everybody. That'll do it. Believe it or not, we're going to do another show tomorrow at noon Central Time. Just like today. We'll be doing a show, and I will be back tomorrow from 12 to 1 answering all of your immigration questions from 12 to 1. It's the Ramadan special. I can't eat lunch, so I'm spending it with you. Hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday. I'm going to see John Wick #4 with my son Ibrahim, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.